Hello and welcome to the Car Secrets channel, where today we're going to look at a Lexus Technical Service Bulletin number 0021-25. And what this bulletin talks about is a few conditions that your vehicle may experience. So you may get a low oil pressure light or a diagnostic trouble code. So it could be a P05202A or P0524777. Or you may not have any fault codes, but when you check your oil on the dipstick, it's going to be like milky, looking like a, kind of a chocolatey milkshake color, dirty off-white milky color. And this affects vehicles in cold temperatures and vehicles that don't get driven a lot. So if you're, let's say, just driving in town, a lot of really short stop and go trips, and your engine never warms up to full operating temperature, then you may experience this. Now, this bulletin specifically addresses the vehicles with 2-liter M20 engines and the 2.5-liter A25 engines. And here's the whole list of them. So from 2019 all the way up to 2025. But let's read a little bit more, and then I'll tell you what I don't really like about this service bulletin. So this is essentially what I said: milky discolored oil, oil pressure low, warning message, or a check engine light with engine oil pressure DTCs. And that's what they explain is the moisture, which is normally formed during the combustion process, and this is normal, like it gets vented through the PCV system, but if you are taking a lot of short trips and never warm the vehicle up fully, that moisture may accumulate inside the oil and freeze. So now it could block, let's say, the oil pressure sensor passage, and then the oil pressure sensor is not getting any pressure. And maybe in extreme conditions, it could block the oil sump pickup, but you'd have to have a lot of water in there for that to happen. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And they show you the picture of normal oil and the milky discolored oil. So pull out your dipstick, take a look, see what it looks like. Let's take a look at the tools and equipment. Well, tools and equipment is essentially just engine oil and oil filter, which they don't mention here. So depending on the vehicle and the model, you may require different quantity than this. This is kind of an approximate. That's why they have the little star there. And text stream, this is just to scan for and clear the fault codes. It's the factory scan tool that they would use if you do have any fault codes. So they're talking here about that an internal coolant leak would have the same symptoms as this. Um, it's very rare to have an internal coolant leak on these engines, like exceedingly rare, but they still want to be cautious and make you aware of that. So the repair steps are to check the appearance of the engine oil. Does it look milky? Yes, then continue. If it doesn't, the service bulletin doesn't apply. You need to diagnose it as per the repair manual. Next step is to do the cooling system test to make sure it's not an internal coolant leak and see if the cooling system holds pressure. If it does not, then it's probably an internal coolant leak and they need to find out where it's coming from. If the cooling system does hold pressure, continue to the next step. So see if there is an oil pressure low warning message. If there is none, then they just tell you to literally change the oil. That's the repair procedure too. If there is this low oil pressure warning, then you need to clear the fault codes first. So essentially the same thing, but you clear any diagnostic trouble codes. Then you start the engine, warm it up, allow it to reach full operating temperature, and see if this warning returns. If it does, then replace the engine oil and filter. If it doesn't, you still replace the engine oil and filter. But essentially, change the engine oil, clear the diagnostic trouble codes again, run the engine again, and see if the code comes back. If the code comes back again, that means there's a problem. Maybe there's a bad pressure sensor or something. But if it doesn't, then you would just continue, wipe off any milky residue just for, I guess, appearance sake and to get rid of the little tiny bit of moisture here, reinstall the filler cap, set the oil level, and make sure it's all good. And then repair procedure 2 is the same thing. Just change the engine oil and filter, wipe the cap, and you're done. Now, what I don't like about this service bulletin is it doesn't address the actual root cause. It just addresses the symptoms. The root cause is the short drives in cold temperature. So what you need to do to prevent this is, once every week or once a month or whatever. It depends on your driving habits, but take the vehicle for a nice long drive down the highway. Go for 30, 45 minutes, get it fully warmed up, let all of that moisture evaporate, and then this won't be a problem. So there you go. This is the service bulletin. Hopefully you found it informative, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.